Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. If you enjoy my gaming videos, go over to Grumpy Old Gamer and subscribe there. If you enjoy my UFO, my paranormal, and my unexplained phenomena videos, go over to Grumpy Old Ufologist and subscribe there. That way you can keep getting my content. My main channel, Grumpy Old Fart, gets lots of strikes because of my political views. YouTube is leftist. They're a private platform. They don't like the First Amendment, so I get a lot of strikes. And when I have strikes, I can't post for periods of time, weeks at a time. So this way, if you subscribe to my other two channels, you can still get the content that you enjoy. If you like my political stuff, go over to Rumble, a different platform, and type in the search bar Grumpy Old Fart. One word, no spaces. Grumpy Old Fart, one word. I had to find out the hard way. And that way you can still get my political stuff. Rumble is a different platform. They respect the First Amendment, and they don't censor me at all. So you can listen to all my stuff. Now, on with the video. All right. I started playing Starfleet Battles back in 1986. I've recently started talking about tactics for the game, and talking about specific tactics is difficult because of the complexity of the rules and the sheer quantity of the different variants of the equipment. There's so many things in the rule books that it's hard to talk tactics. I did basic tactics like phasers, and then I did plasma weapons and basic tactics and like that. In my opinion, the best tactic is one you pull out of your ass because it works. Whether it's a good tactic or not is determined whether or not it works. If it works, it's a good tactic, no matter how stupid it sounds. But using a tactic that you pull out of your ass has the advantage of never having been done before, which means they can't prepare for it. They put out those tactics manuals, and everybody reads those, and they have some good stuff in there. I'm not saying they don't, but sometimes they know the tactic better than you do. If you pull the tactic out of your ass, guess what? They can't prepare for it. So anyway, when I did those other videos, I got a few phone calls and messages from some old friends, and they were reminding me of games that we played years ago. Remember so-and-so and when he did this, and remember when he did that, and remember when that happened, and blah, 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 blah. These conversations spurred me to relay stories of failed tactics. A tactic is only good if it works. If it doesn't work, it's not a good tactic. That's the ultimate deciding factor. If it works, it's good. So here we go. Failed tactics. We were playing a huge game with 6 players. My Romulan War Eagle was cloaked. My good friend Bobby was running a Klingon D7. Most of the players were engaged on the far side of the map when my friend Michael's Orion heavy cruiser decloaked near Bobby's battlecruiser. Bobby immediately turned and unloaded on the Orion and scored a bunch of internals, including all of his shuttle boxes. As Bobby turned to speed away, Michael fired on him and did some damage, but it wasn't a lot. Before Michael could get away, I decloaked and fired my plasma torpedo at him. Michael kind of smirked, and he killed his active fire control, and he dropped his wild weasel. He popped a wild weasel out. And then Bobby said, "What wild weasel?" And Michael said, "Oh, I powered one up." And then Bobby said, "And then I killed it." See, for those of you who don't know, a wild weasel is a shuttlecraft. If you have no shuttle boxes, you have no shuttlecraft. Therefore, you have no wild weasels. In another game, a Federation player, Edward, decided to run a carrier group, knowing that the local terrain was going to be a nebula. So he ran a carrier group in there. According to the rules, shuttles, and by definition fighters, cannot launch in a nebula. So 2/3 of its firepower was negated. Yeah, he didn't win that. My friend David was running an Orion Pirate CR, a pirate raider, in a game against a Federation new light cruiser, an NCL. He ended the turn having fired all of his plasma torpedoes, but he ended the turn with a back end towards the new light cruiser's nose, the NCL's nose, at like 3 hexes away. We were like, oh man. And of course, David turned and looked at me and he goes, hey, well, what do you think I should do? My response was, use a lot of lube. And yeah, he didn't survive that game. Another friend of mine, Angelo, decided he was going to try to outrun a plasma torpedo. My plasma torpedo. And he turned and ran through asteroids, knowing that the asteroids were going to damage the torpedo. The problem was, he was going speed 22. He took as much damage. He took more damage from the asteroids than he took from the plasma torpedo when it caught up to him. So the big rocks hit him in the front, and when my torpedo got there, it smashed through his back shield and finished him off. It was not a good day for Angelo. My friend Larry. Larry decided to cloak and speed between two cruisers who were trying. The cruisers were escorting a carrier. He decided to speed between them in order to go attack that carrier. What he didn't realize is that at high speeds, cloaking devices are just about useless. They turned those two cruisers turned his cloaked vessel into scrap iron in about 6 impulses. Yeah. Another friend of mine, Vanessa, decided to close to range 1 with a Lyran Dreadnought so that her weapons would do maximum damage. Well, at range 2, the Lyran Dreadnought used all of its expanding sphere generators, which knocked down all of her shields, all of her facing shields, and then the rest of the Dreadnought's weapons crippled her in the next salvo. Yeah. It's not good to close with a Lyran. My friend Michelle got tired of me using wild weasels, so she was chasing me across the board with her plasma-armed ship, and she got to range 3, and she decided she was going to unload everything. And plasma beams, not plasma torpedoes, fire them as direct fire weapons, which, is reasonable. Her mistake was she's decided to narrow salvo them. What that means is every weapon uses the same die. She fired all of her phasers, all of her plasma weapons, all of them as one narrow salvo. And then she rolled a 6. All of her plasma torpedoes missed. All of her phasers, if they did hit, did minimal damage. I turned around and cleaned her clock. It was not a good day for Michelle. My friend Danny made the mistake of putting 3 Wind auxiliary battle cruisers in tractor beams, trying to pound them with his drones. He was running a Kazeti. Well, those Wind cruisers just started doing turns, high energy turns and different kinds of turns in the tractor beam, and their 360 phasers pounded the crap out of him. Yeah, he didn't live. My friend Gerald goaded a Klingon player, a guy running a Klingon D7, into chasing him through a minefield. It was Gerald's minefield, so the mines ignored him, and they tore the Klingon up. Yeah, never chase somebody through their own minefield. That's not good. Worst one of all that I can remember, a Romulan player decloaked his Skyhawk troop transport. Because it's a modular ship, it's got troop transport capabilities. He decloaked his troop transport and then dropped all of his shields so that he could beam boarding parties onto the various enemy ships around him. He decloaked in the middle of the enemy formation to do this. He died in literally 1 impulse. That's all it took. Everybody fired on him. He died that quick. It was literally 1 salvo. He was done. You really can't make this shit up. If you have similar stories of failed tactics, please put them in the comments. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But tactics this monumentally stupid demands an honest examination so that they're not repeated. Remember, the point is not to ridicule, but to help fellow players become better players. Now, I saved the best one for last because this was me. I did this one. I think the one stupid tactic on my part that really sticks in my memory is the time that I locked a tractor beam on an enemy ship to prevent shuttle launch. I got tired of this guy using wild weasels, so I locked a tractor beam on him to prevent him from doing it. Yay me, right? Problem was I was cloaked. For those of you who don't know, a tractor beam acts like a beacon, and everybody automatically locked on to me. Every enemy ship there turned and fired at me. They ran across the board to shoot at me. I did not last out the turn, and it just goes to show you stupidity happens to everybody. We all have brain farts. I locked a tractor beam on him, and I said, holy crap, they can see me. So I immediately turned the tractor beam off, but by then it was too late. What else can you do? We all have brain farts. We all have those days. Hope everybody enjoys playing Starfleet battles. And again, if you can remember some bad tactics that people have used and regret, put them in the comments. Especially if it's ones you have used. Nobody can make fun of you better than yourself. And I was stupid in that last one. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.